Right, we want to multiply, if possible, these two matrices. We got D times C. Right, so the order is very important here, right? So let's just write out the dimensions, right? We know that D is a 3 by 3 matrix, and we know that C is a 3 by 1 matrix. So how can we determine if we can multiply these together? We have to look at the number of columns here, the number of rows here, right? We see that these two numbers match. Okay, so yes, we can multiply these together, and in doing so, the dimensions of the matrix that we get should be these two numbers, the number of rows in the first column and the number of columns in the second matrix. Okay, so we know that we are going to end up with a 3 by 1 matrix. Okay, so let's call this A11, A21, A31. Okay. So what I like to do is I like to write it out. Okay. We are going to end up with 3 rows, 1 column here, right? So how do we know what A11 is going to be? Okay. Well, A11 is going to be the product of with the first row here, right? The first row here and the first column here. Well, there's really only 1 column in C, right? So to get the A11 in the product matrix, right, we need to multiply these 3 entries with these 3 entries, right? Remember, we're going to multiply the corresponding entries and then add the results together. So we get negative 1 times 4 plus 4 times negative 3 plus 3 times 2. Okay, so negative 4 plus negative 12 plus 6 gives us negative 10. All right, so that should be the first entry in our product matrix. And what about A21? Okay. For A21, we need the second row here and the first column here. Right? So we got 8 times 4 plus negative 1 times negative 3 plus 2 times 2. Right? So 32 plus 3 plus 4 gives us 39. Okay? So let me just take out these values here. We don't need those little lines, right? So the second entry here, right, should be 39. What about for the last one, right? For A31, right, this is the first row, the third row, first column, right? So we need the third row here. You notice that there's 3 entries here in the third row, and we need the first column here. Notice that there are 3 entries here, right? So similarly, we're going to multiply the corresponding entries together. So 0 times 4 plus 4 times negative 3 plus 3 times 2. Right, so we get negative 12 plus 6, which gives us negative 6. Okay, so this is the final answer, right? If we multiply D times C, okay, we should get this matrix as the final answer. Just as a quick aside, if you were asked to do C times D, right? C times D, okay, well, C is a 3 by 1 matrix, and D is a 3 by 3 matrix, right? So C times D cannot be done. Okay? So multiplication for matrices is not commutative, right? The order is actually very important when you multiply matrices together.